I want to talk about this one. Machine guns don't get too much love, but with weapons, it's always about what something can do, what it is, if it's something to keep, the history of what we've seen with them, how it's obtained, and a lot more. This is actually a special one, and I want to be clear up front. For some of you, not so much, but there are some situations I'm going to get into and outline that make this a must craft. And you're going to know if you fit into that category. It's a solar machine gun. And when you think of solar, one of the first things you think of is incandescent. And incandescent's great on a large mag spray clear weapon. But there aren't actually that many of them. A lot of them are behind content or they were seasonal. And like I said, machine guns usually used for ad clear. Quick and efficient, sometimes with killing tally, rarely for a damage phase like Last Ditch, but as far as randomly rolled solar machine guns, there's like 6 of them. Avalanche, which is seasonal, it has incandescent, you can't get it now. Thermal Erosion, the Europa machine gun, it doesn't have incandescent. Archon's Thunder, from Iron Banner, no incandescent, I really wish they would update it to have incandescent. Fixed Odds, craftable, it came from Caesar the Haunted, remember that? It does have incandescent, but it's from the 3rd encounter in the Duality Dungeon, so it's a little bit more work to get. Unwavering Duty, it's a Trials reward. It does not drop anymore, so if you wanted this, you can't go into Trials, try to focus it unless you've obtained it previously. So if you're a new player or a vet that's now looking for a great solar machine gun with incandescent, you're out of luck. Then finally, Speleologist, today's review. It's craftable, and you might fit in this category. I have a friend that's wanted an incandescent machine gun for a while now, and the reasons I went over just a second ago, they don't have one. They didn't get the rotational ones, they're a PvE player, so they don't have the Trials machine gun. There's no fixed odds worth keeping, and to get a group going for a Duality Dungeon. So from that standpoint, there's only 4 that do have incandescent. You can't get Avalanche, you can't get Unwavering Duty, you have to do the dungeon for fixed odds. But there's this one. It's right here, it's the easiest path. If you've played or have been playing this season, you're gonna get the red borders and you can craft it. But after looking over the archetype, the class, solar machine guns are weirdly rare. There are certain gaps in time where you wanted to get one with certain perks. You needed to in hindsight, so it's going to vary from player to player. Me, I'm a nerd. I did what I did. I have an Avalanche with autoloading or Rewind with incandescent or target lock. I have an Adept and Wavering Duty with autoloading incandescent, so I'm covered. But even with these, let's talk about what Speleologist brings to the table. It's a rapid-fire machine gun, so similar to a fan favorite retrofit. Deeper ammo reserves, so it has built-in more ammo. That's a plus. And then a 0.8 scaler for the reload when the mag is empty. That's also a plus. We can put use to both of these. What it truly has going for it is the Radial Air and Fluid trait. You defeat enemies every 3rd ad. Elites and higher, it's every down. It's going to drop 1. So that's where I want to start. A big sell for this is incandescent, paired with this trait. And really, that's one of the things this thing's very good for. Quick and efficient ad clear, building on solar things. So with this, you lay down the fire button, 3 quick kills in a group, incandescent spread scorch, you drop the fluid on the ground, it ticks the scorched enemies, causes more downs, it's a good thing. So what about the pairing? It's a weird situation that this weapon's put in. And the 3rd, we have Heal Clip, and it's usually a go-to with incandescent, but it's a machine gun. It's got a base 4.6 second reload, not good. You can get it faster, you can help it, but I would stay away. It's not really a great pairing perk. Enlightened Action, this works a bit better. You get to a max stack with 100 reload, get it to 99 handling. I do think that there's a better option though, and that's Stats for All. This is where I'm leaning, with all things considered, because it makes a lot of sense. You add clear target to target, hit 3 of them, you get 35 reload, 35 handling, 10 stability and range, 5% increased damage fall off distance, and importantly, a 0.95 reload duration multiplier. So it's a reload scaler. Depending on how you craft it, you can get to 96 100 reload on the stat, and then you have the 0.95 scaler with the 100 reload. And on top of that, at the end of the magazine, it works out. This thing's a bullet hose. Stats for all last for 10 seconds. You have the rapid fire frame scaler that comes in. That's a 0.8. There's a big difference between a regular reload and these two. The ideal situation is you just spin the mag, clearing targets. It's going to have 100 reload, a 0.95 scaler, and then a 0.8 scaler. Big difference. Deconstruct, decent, but not with incandescent. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in a second. Firmly plated, not so much. Tons of accuracy and stability help, but no. Slideways. I would love this if it wasn't a rapid fire machine gun. It was like on the commemoration class, something like that. I'd be all over it, but you're getting 10, 13 or so rounds, a little bit more with extended mag, but that's going to be gone fast. And there's a cooldown with this perk. And if you want to run it with something like Killing Tally, that's going to prevent you from bypassing it, switching it off, switching it on, because Killing Tally is going to go away. I don't think it's the best perk at all. It feels like it should be, but in practice, it just gets mowed through. Same deal with Envious. There's a problem here. Usually machine guns are for quick and efficient ad clear, and Envious wants you to ad clear with something else and then switch to this. It kind of goes against what you want to do with a machine gun. I played and tested all these perks, and Stats for All stuck out. Like, you're gonna have to reload with this thing, but it's okay. We have the frame, we have a couple scalers, because otherwise, as I talked about, you're kind of put in a weird position. Slide is small on a rapid fire. Envious kind of goes against it. Enlighten's okay, but Stats for All, you don't think about it, you just go. And the magazine pretty much lines up with that 10-second cooldown. So the ideal situation is going to be there a lot. 100 reload, a scalar, and then a possible another scalar if you just spin the entire magazine. So my recommendation for most of you, if you want an incandescent machine gun, it's going to be hammer forged, reload masterwork, appended mag, stats for all, incandescent. And I just went through the situation of who this is for. And even if you do have one, I would test how you like the radiolarian fluid with the Scorch, because it's a good combination. And this is a useful tool. That's what it has going for it. And it gets better when you add in Solar Surge or maybe a machine gun overcharge, whatever it is. It's good. I don't see why anybody would hate on this. Only 4 machine guns in the game with incandescent. A lot of them you can't get. One requires farming with the fire team. Like, this is for the solo player, and it does what it's supposed to do. Beyond that, I do love Strategist. Now, would I take that over incandescent? Personally, no. We do have some damage perks and some combinations like Deconstruct Target Lock. That's something to pay attention to. You get 40% increased damage against constructs and vehicles for 5 seconds, and then Target Lock's ramping up damage on those. Deconstruct's going to throw some ammo back. It's a very long, more damage magazine. Surrounded, 47% increased damage. 3 or more enemies have to be 15 meters and in, which I've tried on a machine gun. It's not too bad because you kind of think of it as an SMG at that point, and it mows even faster. And at that point, it is good against elites, higher tier enemies in that space. Then we have Killing Tally. Now, I love Killing Tally, but again, we have some issues here. It burns through ammo, and the way to keep ammo up on this is slide, and slide isn't going to do it. If you were going to do this, 110% use Delirium. It's the only machine gun with overflow. You can constantly keep the stack up easily. And there's some other machine guns that do have Killing Tally combinations, but not like overflow. This being a rapid fire, it really gets hurt. At a ×3 stack is 30% more damage. It's great. Honestly, for this thing, stats for all, one for all, I think would be better. Immediately tap 3 enemies. You have 35% increased damage for 11 seconds. Way better pick. Adagio's kind of weird. I would just use a different machine gun archetype. So our pairings here, we keep in mind the frame, we keep in mind the fluid. Stats for all, incandescent. That's for a fast reload. A lot of ad clear. Deconstruct Target Lock. And then stats for all, one for all. You could add in Target Lock if you want. I don't think that Killing Tally is the play on this thing. It is on a lot of machine guns, but not on this. I hate that it's a rapid fire. It just doesn't work well with its third column perks. Strongly recommend stats for all, one for all over Killing Tally. You're going to get it quick with this thing. See how fast you mow through things. It shoots so fast, the buffs are going to be up for the entire duration of the magazine, even with a backup mag. And that's how I look at this. Utility with incandescent or a little extra punch with stats for all, one for all. And you can enhance both those perks, make them last for 11 seconds. I don't see too many people talking about this. There's a number of reasons for that. 1, Destiny's at a low point, obviously. 2, a lot of people have great machine guns. 3, people don't see the point and it's a rapid fire. I see beyond a lot of that. Like I said, I personally have a good friend that I've talked to that has been waiting for this machine gun, so I know that people do want it. So for this video, I want to go over the history of solar machine guns and why this one comes at a pretty good time, especially for a solo player. And we start getting into incandescent, we have things like the sidearm that came along right with it, up air in action. And of course, there's a ton of incandescent weapons besides these. As I said, I personally have a couple really good ones, but the radiolarian fluid does intrigue me a little bit. I do like what that brings to spreading AoE. That goes with Choir of Ones and stabilizing rounds. It goes with some bolt shot things. I think it's really good. One of the better origin traits, just pound for pound, because of that. So yeah, it's weirdly rare, and I wanted to take time in this video to go over why that is and who this weapon is for. There's nothing wrong with having an incandescent machine gun at all. There are different builds you can put it in. There's different modifiers that come up. It's a good tool to have. And a lot of people are like, solar machine gun coming with a void trace rifle. A lot of people are out on that, but I see why they did that. I follow all the weapons and all the archetypes that come out. I just went over why they came out with the solar machine gun. Now, the void trace, as far as legendaries, I'm going to cover it soon. The last one was Hollow Denial, Season 17. And of course, it has different things in Hollow Denial. I just got the thing crafted. I'm going to mess with it for about 2 or 3 days, and then we'll talk about it. So if you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, I really appreciate your support. Let's talk about Speleologist, and it is very clear on why you wouldn't want this thing. I went over a lot of those reasons, but there are reasons for people to want it. Let's talk about it overall. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.